Okay, so here we have the Vibrato plastic saxophone. And this was brought to me very kindly by David Waugh here in North Carolina. One of the most interesting things about this, besides the fact that it's made of plastic, is that all the springs are coils, which gives it a very analog feel. All of the pads are plastic, flexible pieces on gimbals that kind of arrange themselves as you push it down. So they're not actually fit in any way. And you can just pop them out if you want to and replace them on the fly. You can see some adjustment screws there. These are little hex screws. And here's the Octave Mechanism at work. It's a bit flexible. Those hexagonal rods you see there are aircraft aluminum. Most of the actual keywork is plastic, but you can see that's kind of an issue there where they've got so much flex going on. I'm not sure exactly what the internal mechanism is in those rods, but that's an awful lot of flex. The neck is pretty interesting. It's got a little segmented octave key there. And I played it a little bit. It sounds like a saxophone. This one has some mechanical issues, as it seems like a lot of these have had coming over. They arrive in, that is the case right there, just a styrofoam with a box around it.
Page me at 01, Elijah 01.
And one rather interesting part of this, let's see if I can show this to you here. Okay. So there's the neck. It's just O-rings. Slides right into there. Now I'm not sure if you can see it, but there's like rings on the interior of the bore that go with where the saxophone is assembled. You can see they're kind of glued together by some sort of plastic adhesive. And a pretty easy way to see this is if I put a leak light into the bore, you can see the whole thing glows. And there's the rings between the segments. And I can't imagine but that would be a negative impact on intonation, if not tone. But like I said, it sounded like a saxophone when I played it. The springs are installed in an interesting fashion. They're kind of bent into a U, and it looks like melted into the plastic, which would make replacement interesting. You can see the rods are held on by little black hex screws, and again, I'm not sure of the internal mechanism. Something interesting is going on though, because for instance, when I press down the A, it's hard to see, but this is actually, the A is segmented right here, it's split. And I don't see any external mechanism that causes my energy to go from where my finger hits to the pad. And there is a little bit of play between the two, which actually is one of the issues I have with this particular horn, is there's a leak in the A, which is making playing down low difficult and making the D overblow quite a bit. So obviously there's something internal here causing things to act together. But there you have it, the Vibrato plastic saxophone. And the whole thing weighs about as much as a tenor neck, as David said, which is rather arresting when you first try it. But it does play. It sounds like a saxophone, and maybe with some more work they can make this a bit more polished of a product. But it's very intriguing as is. And that's about it. So thank you to David, and good night. Okay, adding a quick addendum here. It does come with a mouthpiece, which is also made of the same material as the sax. And I looked inside the neck here, and I hope I can see this. There's like the pip on the bottom is what you see. Well, it's actually the top in this view. But there's two other protrusions that look like glue, because the neck piece here is brass, or the cork piece is brass that sticks into the polycarbonate. Thought you might find that interesting. And also another thing to note is that there is no bell to body brace. It's just there. And you can sort of see the bottom of the keys there. A little bit more polycarbonate stuff going on. But yeah, there we go.